so welcome, Kim, back to the Zoom room. Nice to have you back.
Thank you,
Good chat
John.
there in our expression session, which sets us up nicely to have a look at today's lesson. We'll have a look at the daily quote first. So let me share my screen with you. You can kick it off with the daily quote. That would be useful. So it sets the scene for the day. So yeah, if you can read that.
Oh, excuse me.
It's okay. All right, so there you go. If you can read the quote by Melody Beattie, that'd be good.
Gratitude unlocks the fullness of life. It turns what we have into enough and more. It turns denial into acceptance, chaos to order, confusion to clarity. It can turn a meal into a feast, a house into a home, a stranger into a friend.
Yeah, there's I thought that photo was really pertinent because you have
Mm.
this girl who's disabled, and yet she looks incredibly happy. You know, there's a great smile and energy. It's like, and they just had the Paralympics actually,
I
and
know,
I was
it's
inspiring.
magnificent.
In some ways
Yes.
more inspiring than the normal Olympics because these
Mm.
people have faced serious adversity in their life
Mm.
and they found a way to overcome it and and then participate in these sports at a high level. So it's more about overcoming the adversity and saying we can do this in a sense of I suppose something deeper than just winning. And the Olympics. There's always that potential, but often it becomes too commercialized and too much about the winning, and obviously
Mm.
we know all the drug scandals and so on. All right, so Melody Beattie, interesting American author of self-help books on codependent relationships is her specialty. Uh, really is a good reminder about the transformative power of gratitude. As she says, it unlocks, or in Course in Miracles terms, unblocks what she calls the fullness of life, and Yeshua called abundant life in this quote from the Gospel of John. So if you can read that from John 10:10.
The thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy, but I have come so that they may have life and may have it abundantly.
Yeah, so what does he mean by abundant life? Life abundantly. Many evangelical ministers and pastors, particularly in the US, have misinterpreted this quote as a justification for seeking material wealth. But this is not what the phrase really means. It means to live life in a state of unconditional love and gratitude for all your experiences as they happen in each moment. Abundant life is being in the now. It's finding connections and love and gratitude in each moment. And any material abundance will come out of that or not. But Yeshua didn't mean that you would make a lot of money by that. So then you might say, well, how's it possible when life is such a mixed bag? How can I be grateful for the terrible things Yeshua refers to in this quote? So the stealing and killing and destroying, he's talking about the ego there, the thief. Thief of your happiness and your joy and your gratitude is the ego. And this is why mastering the art of letting go is absolutely essential. Truly letting go enables you to reinterpret even the most seemingly painful experiences as blessings, and to be truly grateful for them by perceiving them correctly as the projections of your own ego or belief in separation that show you the negative effects of this belief and help you decide to let it go. So this is the only way that you can process these things. All right, it's actually my own negativity that's showing up. It's showing up in the mirror that this person and the situation is presenting. And now, very helpfully, I get to see it. So it's not covered over, it's not buried anymore in my subconscious. It's now manifest and I'm aware of it. And so therefore I can let it go. But if it remains buried in my subconscious, then I'm not even aware it's there. So how am I going to let it go? So the stirring up of the stuff that's already there, this is your karma, being the ego, is necessary in order to let it go. And so you're grateful for it. Gratitude is, I'm grateful whenever my stuff gets stirred up. And this is the entirely opposite way of thinking and perceiving the world to the ego's upside down thought system, and equally false related perceptions that make these projections, and therefore the belief in separation seemingly causes them, real to you. So the ego is telling you this is all real, it's very important, you've got to pay attention to this, you've got to react to it, and so it makes itself, being a separate self, real through all of the reactivity. You'll notice whenever you react, who's reacting? A sense of a separate self in you, and that separate self is strengthened by that reaction. And that's the game. The ego is trying to strengthen that separate self through the reactivity to the illusions, and it doesn't want you to know that this is just a game. It's sucked you into this game, and it's playing you for a fiddle, so that it can perpetuate its separate identity. So how do you actually do it? And the short answer is, we'll practice the lessons. The reason why Yeshua's given us daily lessons, and he's saying, look, practice these at least twice a day for a longer period, 15 to 20 minutes in the morning, in the evening, and then in between, practice these frequently, is because he knows just how strong the ego is in our minds, and how much of a hold it's got in our minds, and that we have to let go of it. And the only way to let go of it is this regular practice. And it requires a regular practice, because you are going to be tested, usually daily. So all I've done is really said, well, you can do this a little bit more easily with the guidance and the help of this program. So you've got guided meditations, help you to practice the lessons. You've got the breath breaks that help you to practice them frequently during the day. And just doing that, if you just do the lessons and you practice the lesson several times during the day, never mind every hour, but just manage a few times, it starts to make quite a profound difference. You start to be able to counter the ego's reactivity, and you're able to let go systematically and progressively. There's also these deeper teachings. So don't forget the Instrument for Peace process. We'll click on that, which can be very helpful if you're dealing with a particular issue to work through this. I think you've worked through this. You go through the process. By the time you've worked through this, you are in a different state. You have let go of quite a lot of the ego's misperceptions, its emotions, its thoughts, and it takes you down to the core, which is the desire or prayer of the heart. So what do I want? Do I want to be a separate self here and believe in the ego's story of being a separate self? Or am I willing to let that go? And the prayer of the heart is to be one again. Am I going to listen to my true self, Christ self? And so this is a process that takes you through a process to take you down through these levels and get you to the very core of that decision to be a separate self or be one self. That's what it comes down to in every instance. So it's a great process. It gets to the core of it through this process of questioning. So you go through, you fill in the questionnaire. And then there's the 10-step letting go process, which is an alternative. So this takes you through 10 steps of forgiveness or letting go, which again help you to work through the situation as you go step by step. And because you're doing it systematically in the step-by-step process, it's quite effective. You don't skip steps, and the ego, if you stay in the structure, the ego can't really cope with that. So all it'll try and do is say, oh, you don't need to do this. Just try and do it in your mind. But if you actually do it properly, formally, you sit down, like I know John uses this, he actually writes it out, prints it out the worksheet, and he writes it out. So he goes through it properly, and he says inevitably it helps to do this on any issue. It's part of the process of letting it go. So remember those tools. You've also got the guided letting go theta meditation, which is 1 hour, and I've given you other versions of that down here. There's the 1 hour version, there's the 40-minute, there's the 30-minute, and there's a half-hour meditation just on the 10-step letting go process. So there's a number of options depending on how much time you have. I can recommend the full hour. It's a really deep immersive experience, but sometimes you don't have it, so rather do half an hour there. Just do the essence of the letting go. The 10-step process is embedded in these 2 half-hour ones, so you can get that core process and be worked through it in those half-hour ones. Okay, so that leads us nicely in today's lesson, today's session.
So can you just scroll back up bit, Jono, when you started introducing these processes?
Scroll down.
No,
Scroll down.
Go to the further up the page, should I say? I don't know. Yeah, so scroll up, yeah. Yeah. I'm just looking at, it's that systematically and progressively training your mind to let go of its expectations about attachments to its own projections. Yeah.
So there's a process.
Perceives or how it wants to perceive, yeah.
What the art of letting go does, it says, well, look, be systematic about this. It's like anything else. If you're going to do it, train your mind, do it systematically, do it every day. Just like you would train for sport, or you gym training, or if you want to learn a musical instrument or anything. The best approach is systematic, everyday practice. And that's exactly what the program is designed to do, so that you can, systematically, progressively be undoing the ego just day by day. It's part of your daily life. It's part of how you live your life. And if you keep doing that for years, you're going to be making consistent progress, and living the best life you can. So the idea is, while you undo the ego, here you also are doing, that's your purpose being met. There's a sense of happiness, joy, peace, love. All of that comes just by dedicating your mind and your life to one singular purpose, which is the letting go of ego. Everything else follows from that. That's the principle of this program. That's what's called the art of letting go. You master one thing, letting go, and everything in your life starts working. And there's only one key skill that you have to master. Yeah, albeit it's the hardest skill you can master. It's not easy, but at least it's simple. There's only one thing. You don't have to go and learn 10 different skills and wonder which one of them is going to work. It's only one skill, and you've got all the teachings, all the tools to help you in the Instrument for Peace process, the 10-step letting go process. That's for deeper issues, and then your daily lessons, which is help you to let go on a daily basis of whatever's showing up that day, which inevitably there's always stuff. There's always stuff showing up in our illusions, because that's how the ego's designed it. The world is designed to trigger the ego. So there's always going to be these temptations, but with this kind of mind training, systematic, progressive, diligent mind training, you will undo, you can and will undo the ego. But it requires a disciplined, systematic process. Otherwise, it's just too hit or miss, and it typically doesn't work. You do a bit of spiritual practice, and then, oh, now I'm enlightened, and then you don't practice. Well, then the ego comes back. That's how it works. Yeah, so any other questions on that?
I think so. We just touched on the beginning. We talked about resilience, and that's what, you're talking about Richard Branson's book. I mean, the more you practice, is it because you talk about the flow, then there's going to be less of that resistance, right? It's almost like, people who've been highly successful in a matter of things, not only say in a career or business, etc., whatever they consider, athletes or, can raise a family or, anyway.
Yeah, in any field of it.
What we say is everything's like success is on the other side of difficulty. But with this letting go, more we practice, is there going to be less perceived difficulty, because it's that there's no order of difficulty in miracles, right? So just want to understand your take on that based on your experience.
Yeah, I think, the more you practice letting go, the more you're able to let go of the perceived difficulties, and the difficulties fade away. Okay, it might be difficult at the time, but that's why it's a letting go lesson and opportunity. And then you let it go, and then it's not that difficult anymore. You've done it. Okay, well, I've let that go, and it's okay. I'm not holding on anymore. And so I think what happens is, if you get tested repeatedly, as someone like Branson no doubt was, he had many difficulties and challenges he had to overcome. He always found a way to let go. He didn't panic. It was like, okay, I let go of the perceived difficulty, and I'll find a way around it. Whereas if you don't know how to let go, what you perceive that then is that difficulty is permanent, that it's an obstacle that can't be overcome, and you give up. It all seems to be too big and overwhelming, and you just give up. So letting go is essential if you're going to overcome those difficulties, and you're going to have this quality of resilience. Persistence, perseverance, resilience, they come from letting go, from the ability to let go of life's challenges, and find a way to flow forward through the challenges. So those challenges are often exactly the catalyst that you need to grow and to succeed. So that's an interesting insight, isn't it? You think we're talking about business, but anything in life, you grow through your challenges. So you don't resist the challenges and go, this is terrible. You go, no, this is actually exactly what it's meant to be. And I grow through this into a higher version of myself. I develop myself, my character, my faith, my belief, my resilience through this process. And I believe if you keep doing that, and you keep upgrading yourself, and you raise your energetic frequency, if you like, to a higher level, inevitably then success must come. What people would perceive as success comes because you're operating at a sort of higher frequency, and it then starts to manifest. So let me actually share this. Just a couple of diagrams here, which might be helpful in this context. So if we look at the David Hawkins' scale, first of all, where is that? It's somewhere down here. There we go. The map of consciousness. So this is a typical developmental scale. There's a number of these kinds of scales, but this one is David Hawkins's take on it, based on kinesiological testing of thousands of different people. So take Branson as an example. He was able to stay at an optimistic level. There's no doubt he was inspiring. Life was inspiring, hopeful. There was a lot of willingness, optimism, setting of intentions, ability to follow through on intentions. And he was able to do that in the face of some severe difficulty and not drop down. I'm sure he had his challenges, and there would have been times where he was like, I'm really, I do doubt. But he would always restore himself back to that level. And because he was able to do that consistently over years, it did take years to build the Virgin brand. He only really started to make money in the 90s. Then, some kind of success manifested out of that, being able to consistently stay at that frequency himself, and then to, this is what leadership is. Leadership's the ability to inspire others to raise themselves up to that frequency. So now you've got a whole organization of people operating at that frequency, and that becomes powerful. Inevitably, things will manifest out because people will say and do things and take actions based on that frequency, and that then has corresponding effects in the external world. So if you look at the other diagram I want to show you is integral model. If you look at it from this perspective of the integral model, you raise yourself up in the frequency to a higher level, say the level of optimism, and that becomes your default state. So you might dip down from time to time, but those are the challenges that try and pull you down, but you come back up. How do you come back up to that frequency? You let go of the disappointment. You let go of the difficulties and all of those lower energies below 200, the anger and pride and arrogance and fear and desire and guilt and shame and apathy, and you let go of all that. And by letting it go, you raise yourself up to this higher frequency. And if you're going to be successful as an entrepreneur, I'd say you need to be at optimism at the very least, consistently. And then in the external world, that has manifest effects. If you can do that, and you can stay there consistently, and you consistently, day by day, you act at that, on the intentions that come from that level of understanding, then it starts to manifest in the external world, and you start to see manifest results, material results, which then, if you're talking about a business, translates into a business that's working, that's successful. There's sales, there's orders, there's growth, there's people, there's stuff happening as a result of the ability to hold at that frequency consistently. And then it must manifest over time. But you have to stay the course. That's why I said, the success happens on the other side of difficulty, because the difficulties of the ego trying to sabotage you and take you down the scale into these negative energies, and convince you that actually it's a despairing, apathy, or you're going to fail. So there's fear, craving, desire. Some people say, well, you just need to want it enough. But the more you crave it, and the more you desire it, the more you fear that's not going to happen. So that's not a very constructive energy. You need to be at a hopeful, optimistic energy that's beyond fear and desire. That's more about, okay, I will do this because it's the right thing to do. It feels right. I'm guided by my inner self, my intuition, and I'll keep doing this. So, in my other business in the commodities industry, it's more about, okay, I'll just continue to be hopeful, to be willing, to be optimistic, to not get cynical and go, oh, these deals never work, because most of them don't. But nevertheless, I must maintain my optimism. That's my spiritual practice then. So it becomes what you do, if you're talking in business sense, in this context, becomes your spiritual practice. And it can be a powerful, profound one if you see it as such. So one of the things I like to do is teach entrepreneurs entrepreneurship from a spiritual point of view, and say actually entrepreneurship is a spiritual path if you correctly view it. And any business that results is the fruit of your spiritual labor that then manifests into an abundant life and organization that can help many people, not just yourself. The abundant life that Yeshua talked about comes from the inner self, the inner willingness to do the work to start with. Yeah. So, any other questions on that? I think sort of covers it quite well. But this is hard work, and if you observe anyone who's been really successful, then they have mastered a frequency. They're able to operate at that frequency consistently, and sometimes for years and years, as in the case of Branson, often against some severe odds. Not easy to remain optimistic. I mean, one of my business partners says, yeah, well, to do this, you have to be delusional, because you have to be irrationally optimistic, because the likelihood is, it'll fail, but the irrational optimist says, no, actually it could succeed. I see the possibility, I see the opportunity. And so I'll remain optimistic and I'll follow it without the key thing is don't get attached to the outcome. So don't get hung up on, oh, this needs to work, and whatever the outcome is, the money typically, because that pulls you back into desire, craving, 125, which is negative energy. And then many people fall for that trap, which is if you encounter that in a business, then you'll go, okay, the person or the business just in it for the money. They just want the money. They're not really caring about their customers. And of course, that is a negative energy that will sabotage the business ultimately, because no one really wants to do business with people in a company that does that. Makes you feel kind of not valued, used. Whereas someone who's optimistic consistently, that's an energy people want to associate with. So, yeah, I like that. It makes me feel better. I feel like things are possible around this kind of person. They're inspiring. They're a leader, and so yes, I'd like to work with them, do business with them, and you're not going to be able to stay consistently optimistic unless you can let go of the negatives, which is all the stuff below 200, because the ego is always trying to pull you down through triggers, through challenges, difficulties. It's trying to pull you down into the negative and get you to stay here. And the only way out of that trap is to let go of the temptation to indulge in the negativity. And when you truly let go, then you restore your mind back to the higher frequency, and you start climbing the ladder as well. The more you let go, you actually start climbing up the scale to eventually get to these higher levels of love, joy, peace, and ultimate enlightenment. And you see, so with someone like Branson, you see, there's a lot of this optimism going on in his earlier life and career, and now he's more like an elder statesman, and he's maybe done a lot of forgiveness. Maybe there's a reason and understanding and a wisdom that's come from his experience, maybe even a love. I don't know him well enough to say it, but that there's something deeper that's come as a result of this path that he's followed, which, as I said, at the highest levels, spirituality is entrepreneurship is a spiritual path, and if people understood it as such, it would give them a whole new understanding and well, be very helpful in actually following it. So instead of then just chasing the money, they like, no, it's actually about my own personal growth and development. That's why I'm doing the business. And then it's inside out, not outside in. And I haven't seen this taught really anyway. So I think it's needed in the world. Someone's going to put it out there. So watch this space. It's something I definitely want to do.
I mean, yeah, I've come across YouTube channels and people in the spiritual space talking about something big coming over the next few years or next, but they prefer to like, this is the opportunity of, it might be something chaotic, but it's the opportunity to sort of grow and raise that consciousness in some way or form. So for you,
Yeah.
Jana, I mean, like, keep doing what you're doing, and more people will be realizing this is the way, because it's, what other way
Yeah.
is there?
I mean, it makes sense, and you can see the demonstrable results from it. I've seen it in my own life, and you see it in other people's
Mm.
lives. Talked about Branson, he's one example, but there's many others, and it's almost like the secret behind the secret. Everyone's, oh, I want the money, I want the success, I want the lifestyle, but are you willing to do the inner work first? All of that can come. Yeah, I'm not. This isn't saying that you can't enjoy that, but don't get attached to it. Don't make that the reason why you're doing it. Oh, I just want the money and fancy lifestyle. That's not a deep enough reason. That's not going to sustain you when the going gets tough. That's not why Branson did what he did. He said, like, you have to love what you're doing. You have to have a passion for the process of what you're doing, and really believe in it. And the rewards come later. So it's more about loving the process and using it as everything as spiritual practice. And the advantage of this idea of entrepreneurship as a spiritual path is that it will challenge you. If you're doing any kind of business, there's inevitably difficulties, there's challenges. So you're going to get challenged a lot. The more of those challenges that you face, and you let go of any of the negative stuff that arises, the more you're cleaning your mind. You're healing your mind of that negativity, which is why I say it's a spiritual path. So it's almost a way of saying to life, okay, I'm going to go and I'm going to do things that are going to inevitably put me in difficulty. And there's going to be difficult situations that arise as a result of this, but that's exactly what I need to learn and grow and become, the enlightened person that I really am. And so bring it on. And, the final outcome of it is not that I make a fortune. The outcome is that I discover who I am. The outcome of every path, authentic spiritual path, is to know who you are. So you finally discover through all of that I am love, I am peace, I am joy, and I am okay as I am. And that's the universal path we're all on. Yeah, so interesting. There's many ways to experience that. You don't have to do it in a business context or whatever, but if you do, it's going to give you a lot of lessons that can be very helpful and accelerate your learning and your path. And if I compare myself to, say, friends, family who haven't followed the same kind of entrepreneurial path, you see a development that's happened in yourself, that hasn't necessarily happened in them because they haven't walked the path.
Mm.
There's a difference, as Morpheus said to Neo, there's a difference between knowing the path and walking the path. How you can know about it. People know about entrepreneurship, they know about business, but if you don't do it, you don't get the lessons. You actually have to engage in it, and you have to go through the trials and tribulations and difficulties, and then you've got to let go of all of the stuff that triggers in you, and that's a spiritual path. And if you can keep doing that, no matter how many times you get disappointed, you keep doing that. You keep raising yourself up to at least a level of willingness, optimism, 310, things, and then taking action accordingly from this optimistic state of mind, then things have to manifest. It's the Lord. It's got to manifest eventually in the physical, which is why then success is inevitable. If you can go through the difficulties and you can let them go. So then you see why letting go is so key. But how many people will tell you that letting go is the key to success as an entrepreneur? Very few. Because it's this hidden secret, the secret behind the secret, I call it.
Well, I think maybe you might not say it in some those words, but it's more that, okay, fail forward. It's that failure is it's an event, it's not who I am. It's like that, I think it's the way it's described might be a bit different, but
how
do you
actually
someone letting go because they got up to carry on? Yeah.
You have to let go of your disappointment. You have to let go of whatever negativity arises as a result of that disappointment, which means you've got to let go of the ego, negative thought and emotion as it arises. It's got to be a process to do that. So, letting go is critical. If you can't do that and you harbor the negativities, there's no way you'll succeed, because you'll just get depressed and despondent and fearful, and you go, well, it's just pointless. It's too difficult. I'll give up on it. And then I won't continue. And then I'll just be a bit bitter and twisted and think like, well, I've been hardly done by life. I haven't succeeded, and usually there'll be blame, and I haven't succeeded because of X, Y, Z, because of a business partner who screwed me, or because of this, or because of that, or but actually you didn't succeed because you weren't able to let go of your ego and hold yourself at that high frequency consistently. That's why you didn't succeed. It's as simple as that. All right, so shall we have a look at our lesson today? It's a fairly short lesson. This is just a new lesson. So let me bring that up, and we'll do a lesson, a meditation, and then, we can end there if you like.
Okay.
So, there we go. So, this one is lesson 215, another review lesson, which starts off with the wrapper, I call it, for all of these lessons. So if you can read that in the original and alternative, just reflect on that afterwards and go into the key idea.
I am not a body, I am free, for I am still as God created me. I am not a body, I am free, for I am still as perfect love extends me. Love is the one. Sorry.
Thoughts on that first one? We've done it 15 times now, but it's very profound. I find it enormously profound and helpful. It's almost like a summary. It is a summary of the whole workbook. I'm not a body, I'm free, for I'm still as extends me. That summarizes the message of the workbook quite well in 3 sentences. A bit like the summary of the text is, nothing real can be threatened, nothing unreal exists. Herein lies the peace of God. Both are very short, 3 sentences, 3-sentence summary of the whole teaching of that part of the course. I'm not a body, I'm free. I'm not limited by the body and its
Yeah.
limitations and the consciousness of the body and desires of the body and fears of the body. For I am still, like this is double meaning, because I remain, I'm still in this context means I remain as
Mm.
perfect love extends me, but I'm also still, double meaning is I'm still within. I reside in the still quietness of my being. And in that stillness, perfect love extends me. And if we drop into stillness, which we'll do just now in the meditation, you can get a sense of perfect love extending you, that there is this presence in you that is there, that is extending you right now, and that gives you your life. It gives you awareness. That's what's permanent. That's what's real about you. Is that loving awareness, that presence, whatever you want to call it. In this context, we're saying perfect love extends me. It's one way of phrasing it. It's really about experiencing the words, isn't it? Not just stopping at the words, actually internalizing the words into an experience. Okay? So what does it feel like to be free, to not to be a body, to be free, to be extended by perfect love? What does that actually feel like? If you can feel that deeply, then the lesson is working for you. That's ultimately what he wants us to do, is translate the lessons into actual experience, which connects us with this perfect love that is being pointed to in the words as an experience. And that's when you're actually living the course. In the meantime, you practice and you practice to break through any blocks to the awareness of love's presence. That's why we practice. Okay. Any other thoughts on that on those three sentences? No?
It is.
So let's go
It
into
is
the
nice when we
idea then. Love
let
is the
go of
way.
the
No?
So it's nice when we can be free of the body and ego and what comes with it. Know
Yeah, it's
thyself.
very, you think of, well, when do we do that? Most people do that for 7-8 hours a day in sleep. You lay down the body and you're
Mm.
not aware of the body. You know, you just go within, and it's very restful. It's it's the way we can continue in the illusion. The ego just makes us go unconscious, so we're not aware of what's happening. Meditation is conscious rest, where you are aware, and so you can go into these deep states, but you're aware of those states. And once you become aware of those states, then you start becoming aware of perfect love, and perfect love extends you in these deeper states, where you're free of the body, but yet you're still consciously aware. You haven't gone unconscious in sleep. Okay, so love is the way I walk in gratitude. Any thoughts about that? Now, I'd maybe just read there's a couple of sentences there, 3 sentences, just as a short commentary.
We'll start with the lesson as well. Love is the way I walk in gratitude. The Holy Spirit is my only guide. He walks with me in love, and I give thanks to him for showing me the way to go. The remembrance of perfect love is my only guide. It guides me in the ways of perfect love, and I give thanks to it for showing me the way to go.
Yeah, so thoughts on that. I mean, very simple. This is not rocket science. It's straightforward. He's stating the obvious, but the obvious is overlooked by the ego.
So basically, I think it's saying love is synonymous with gratitude, walking with gratitude or walking with love or as love, maybe. guided by the Holy Spirit, who's walking me as love, because that's love's remembrance. And I'm grateful for the Holy Spirit, or remembrance of perfect love, who's showing me the way.
Yeah.
Or
There is
feeling
excellence in me. I have a memory still of love, and the gratitude for that is enormous. And that even in the darkest times, even in all the temptations of the ego, that there is a remembrance that I can never forget this perfect love, and that's guaranteed. And I can, there's this presence in me that can always remember the truth, and that remembrance of perfect love is the Holy Spirit. If you state it like that, it makes complete sense. It's not some mystical entity. It's just the memory of this perfect love, this perfect loving awareness that you once had. And that's still there. That can guide you back through the memory of love. You will ultimately be restored to the state of perfect love, which makes complete sense. Of course, the remembrance of it is going to ultimately lead you back into that state, isn't it?
Yeah.
So then there's no mystery to it. The Holy Spirit is not a mystery. It's just a memory of a state of mind, a loving awareness that we we chose to forget, and we chose to deny that. But it's still there. That memory remains in our mind for all time. It cannot ever be destroyed.
When I read this, I feel it. It's that feeling of it's again. That's where I'd say the love and the gratitude is synonymous, because like as how you've described it, it's that we have that remembrance of love. I feel love and grateful for that all in one.
Yeah. In the end, all these words, whether it's love or gratitude or peace, joy, happiness, they all point to the same thing. These are words that are pointing to the same thing, the same underlying truth. And we just experience that truth differently. So you can experience a feeling of gratitude, and then we call that gratitude. And then you experience a feeling of deep love, and we call that love. And you experience a feeling of joy, and we call that joy. But it's the same underlying feeling. It's the same underlying awareness that all of these things really point to. And of course, the more you practice, the more you realize the words don't really matter. Love is the way I walk in gratitude, or you talk about peace or joy or happiness. The words point to the same underlying awareness, which is fundamental. And that's what you really are.
Yeah.
So, in a way, these lessons, and you'll notice in the second part of the workbook we're coming up to, they get very, very short. So just 2 paragraphs, very short, sweet, to the point, in sutra type format. Because he's saying, well, maybe words aren't that helpful anymore. We've done a lot of words in the first part of the course to help you to become aware of your ego and let it go. But now in the second part, it's more about deepening into the actual experience of love, and that doesn't need a lot of words. In fact, words are not that helpful for that, because words tend to involve the intellectual mind and understand it. So very, very simple, very short and sweet, and you use the words as a pointer to a state. Love is the way I walk in gratitude, and you use that to enter into a love and grateful state and actually feel what the words are pointing to. And if you do that, then you're practicing the lessons well. That's what he's designed the lessons to do, to help you connect with your underlying awareness, whatever you want to call it, love or gratitude. It's actually all the same. We just experience. The reason why we have these different words is because in this world we experience it differently. We can have a feeling of gratitude, and then the label for that, we call that gratitude, because it's a slightly different feeling from just love. All right. So any other thoughts on that? Otherwise, let's read the second, same as we read it initially, but to close out the lesson, call it the sandwich for that reason. So you've got this on either side of the meat of the sandwich, which is the actual original lesson.
I am not a body, I am free, for I am still as God created me. I am not a body, I am free, for I am still as perfect love extends me.
Yeah. Let's just sit with that for a moment. How does that feel when you say those words? Anything come to mind? Thoughts,
Yeah,
emotion?
yeah, warmth in my heart.
Hmm.
And
So if you can use the words to feel the feeling, that's what this course is designed to do. The words are just a pointer to an inner state, an experience. And he wants you to practice the lesson so you have the actual experience that lies behind the words. Which is why he's saying we'll practice it at least twice a day in a longer form and then in between. Top yourself up in between. If you can just feel that feeling, that warm-hearted, lovely feeling, and you say 3 words to feel that, that's priceless, isn't it? You got 3 simple sentences. It takes you a few seconds to say them, and yet that can be the anchor into this profound, deep state of awareness, which makes you feel loving and grateful and connected.
that second sentence as well, I'm saying it slowly. I'm still, and I'm pausing.
Yeah.
I'm
So you can
still,
play with it. Yeah,
as God created me,
yeah.
still, being still.
Yeah, so there's a double meaning there. Still could be I remain as, but it's
Yeah,
I still. And the stillness is the essence of love or God. Because it's in this still, calm, quiet awareness that we
yeah,
become aware of this pure formless awareness of perfect love. It is by definition still. It's not busy and active and lots of different things. It's doesn't need to. It's just absolutely still
yeah,
and quiet.
yeah.
Well, I am still, and you can just rest in that stillness for a while.
Mm.
And so the lessons just point you to the underlying state of mind that they describe. See that. And if you can use them as such, then they're enormously valuable, which is what he's recommending we do. So your daily practice is longer meditation in the morning and the evening, so you can have a deeper experience of connecting with the underlying awareness that this lesson points you to, and you can also top yourself up during the day. So you do a few minutes of a breath break, and you get charged up again. Okay, I'm connected to that stillness again. I'm feeling the love, and that just restores me, resets me into a better space, loving awareness. All right. So shall we meditate on that to actually
Oh,
experience it
mm.
and close it out? And it's getting quite late there for you now. It's after 10. So do a 20-minute med, and that'll should prepare you nicely for bed.
You can see that, Jonah.
Yeah. Yeah, well,
Mm.
it's a nice way to, end the day, close it off. So
Mm.
All right, so
Mhm.
let's do a meditation on this. Okay, so just making yourself comfortable, sitting in meditation posture, your feet shoulder width apart, your back straight. Cup your hands in your lap, close your eyes. And start off by taking a nice deep breath in through the nose, so breathing in. Noticing how the stomach rises and the chest rises, and the subtle flow of air in through the nostrils. Clench the sphincter muscle to lock the energy in. Draw the energy up the spine. Into your heart center. And just feel the love in there. You can remind yourself that I'm not a body. I am free. As you breathe in, feel that freedom in your heart, in your body, in your mind. For I am still as perfect love extends me. I'm not a body, I'm free, for I'm still as perfect love extends me. Feel that love in your heart, that loving awareness. It's the very essence of you. That's the very essence of you. So love is the way I walk in gratitude. And just breathe in. So in the inhale breath, you are inviting these very powerful energies, love and gratitude, into your awareness, into your mind, into your heart, into your energy system that makes up the physical body, inviting it all in, saying, I welcome you. Love is the way I walk. Love is the way I walk in gratitude. Focus on feeling the love. Love is the way I walk in gratitude. And so it doesn't mean you're just grateful for the good stuff, things that are pleasant and nice. You're actually grateful for everything. So whatever challenges, difficulties, pain, suffering, sickness, death, these things are common in this world. Whatever you've had to endure, it's all part and parcel of this awakening process. So breathe in this love, this gratitude to every pore, every cell, every muscle of your body, every part of your mind, every fiber of your being is immersed in love and gratitude. You're grateful to be here, to now listening to these words, to just be grateful for being alive, really. Say, the Holy Spirit, to the remembrance of perfect love is my only guide as you breathe in again. So remembrance of perfect love is my only guide. Remembrance of perfect love is my only guide. He walks with me in love is the original. Holy Spirit walks with me in love. Translation is it guides me in the ways of perfect love. Remembrance of perfect love. He is my only guide. Say that silently to yourself. Remembrance of perfect love is my only guide. Guides me in the ways of perfect love. It guides me in the ways of perfect love. And I give thanks to it for showing me the way to go. So invite it in, feel the love and feel the gratitude for this. I'm extremely grateful to be able to do this. The luxury of sitting in comfort, relative comfort, and just letting this love and this gratitude infuse every pore, every cell, every muscle of your body, every fiber of your being. Love is the way I walk in gratitude. I'm not a body, I'm free. I'm still as God created me, or perfect love extends me. Exhale on the truth of that and have a sense of this perfect loving awareness inside of you, extending you. Love is the way I walk in gratitude. I'm not a body. I'm free. I'm still as perfect love extends me. And then just feel that extension, that awareness in you that extends you, that gives you life, that gives you awareness. Just feel that loving awareness. There's nowhere else to go, there's nothing else to do, nothing else to think about. Just breathe, relax, be still, and surrender into that stillness. And just watch the breath, breathing in and out through your nose, just calmly, quietly, each breath sinking deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. Going inwards, deeper and deeper with each breath, into this perfect loving awareness. Nowhere else to go, there's nothing else to do, nothing else to think about. Relax, be still, and surrender into this perfect loving awareness, which is who you really are. Any thoughts come up, seem to tempt you back into another awareness, unloving awareness, unkind thoughts, fearful thoughts, angry thoughts. Should bind you into a body identification. These thoughts convince you that you are a separate self in a body. You have interests that are separate, apart from other people's interests. Remind yourself of the truth that I'm not a body. So you breathe in again. I'm not a body. I'm not a body. I'm free. I'm free. So feel that freedom. The exhale. Into letting go, releasing. Just sinking inwards, deeper and deeper below the normal level of awareness lies this deeper awareness, pure formless awareness, perfect love, the kingdom of heaven has been called. And it's resting in this perfect loving awareness in a few minutes, deep silence. And when thoughts come up, disturb this loving awareness, just observe them, notice them, remind yourself. Love is the way I walk in gratitude. So I'm grateful for whatever has happened. Breathe in, that love, that gratitude. Remind yourself that I am not a body. I am free. You just let go, blow it out. Any dark thoughts, any negativity, like a dark cloud or black smoke, blow it away. Just let go of whatever the negativity is and feel this loving awareness. It's a feeling within you. Put one hand on your heart if it helps you. Just feel love that arises. So love is the way I walk in gratitude and the wrapper idea is I'm not a body. I am free. Just feel the love, feel this loving awareness. So then just gently coming back now into an awareness of the body and the breath and the senses and the world. And on the count of three, open your eyes to retain this loving awareness in your mind. So it's going to stay with you for the rest of the evening on into tomorrow. So on the count of three, so one, just breathing in. As you breathe in, notice the breath flowing into the nostrils. Maybe there's a subtle smell in your nose, maybe a taste in your mouth. There's what you're hearing. Noticing all these things feels very still, calm, and state of mind. State of mind. It's clear, it's calm without illusions. So on the count of two, just exhaling out through your mouth. Notice how the air flows out, chest and stomach sucked back in. And the last moving out. Stomach, spine. And you're aware of the weight of your body pressing down into the chair, your feet touching the ground. Notice what you're feeling, your body, your hands touching. Maybe there's a subtle taste in your mouth, a smell in your nose as you breathe in. Noticing all these things from the still, calm, surrendered state in which no illusions, but only the truth is true. Connect with that, anchor the state in. You're going to carry the state with you into the rest of your evening and on into tomorrow and the weekend ahead. And so it is said, and so it is done. This intention set, this holy awakened state anchored in. I'll count to 3. It's time to open your eyes. So slowly open your eyes, just look around. Take a moment just to ground yourself back. As you look around the room, notice that this loving awareness, the love that the lesson refers to, that you walk the way that you walk in gratitude, is this awareness is there. It's underlying all of your sense perceptions. So it's underlying whatever it is that you're looking at. And look at another object, notice that it's still there. And another one again, notice it's there. Close your eyes. Notice it's there. Open your eyes, notice it's there. So it's everywhere. You have all these lessons to teach you that this loving awareness underlies all of your sense perceptions. It's everywhere you look, it's everywhere yet you are perceiving is actually really underlying awareness. And so it is. Say one more time, love is the way I walk in gratitude, and I am not a body, I am free. I am still. Feel the stillness in your heart as you say that, as perfect love extends me. So it is. So that brings us to the end of the meditation and the lesson and the session. So thanks, Kim. I can see you dropping off, so time for bed. I hope you enjoyed that. I did. Thanks for the for joining the chat, the session, and join us more often. So I'll always run 2 or 3 evenings in the week. I run evening sessions. So
Yeah,
join us
this
next
was
week.
nice on a Friday evening, and just the last 2 Fridays I haven't.
Yeah.
I was away, and also last weekend my mother-in-law was with us, and so I'm happy to have been able to join today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Thank you, and good weekend, and I'll see you next week, I hope.
Yeah. Thank you, Jono.
All right.
Namaste.
Namaste. Bye for
Bye.
now. Bye.
Bye.
All right, so that's a wrap for today. Thank you to Kim for joining, making the session possible and more than a monologue. If you would like to get more of these sessions, then a couple of things you can do. First of all, subscribe to the channel. You're notified whenever I go live, which is 4 or 5 times a week. Typically, you'll be notified by YouTube on your device whenever I do go live. You can also sign up to join our Telegram group. I send out some of the material that I shared to you in the beginning part of the session. on Telegram every day, so you'll be sent that via Telegram, which is a messaging app. If you're not familiar with it, you just would need to install that on your phone or tablet. And go to lifebuild.com. You can see the spelling, lifebuild, stick .com on there, and you'll be able to sign up to that Telegram group and receive the information, which includes the daily quotes. There's some teaching around that, leads you into the daily lesson from the workbook. There's some texts that I share. There's translations of the lesson and text into an alternative language to make it more easily understandable, and usually some resources, often a link to a recorded video, and then there's the daily lesson, which is accompanied by a usually 15 to 20 minute meditation. You can listen to that a couple of times in the day, as well as a shorter breath break, which is a few minutes to help you practice the lesson frequently in the day. So all of that is freely available. If you go to lifebuild.com and you sign up, you just need to put in your mobile number and you need to have Telegram on your device. So I hope you'll take one of those steps. Oh, and just to mention, in the Telegram messages, I give you notifications about these live sessions, so when they're happening, as well as the login link to join us in Zoom. So you can join these sessions in person as well by signing up to Telegram. So I hope you'll do that, or at least hit the subscribe button. Do that now if you're not already a subscriber. And to see you soon on the inside of one of these sessions. Thanks for watching or listening, and namaste, which means the grateful self in me acknowledges and honors that same loving, grateful self in you. Wishing you much love, gratitude, peace, and joy in that self. Bye for now.